Walker versus Ankalaev 2 has been rebooked for the first main event of the year. So that is a great choice by the UFC. Like, you got to give it to them. That's a good way to get everybody hooked back in. To be like, hey, guess what? We're back. And it's that fight you guys wanted. I think a lot of people are going to tune back in really early in the year because of that. So I think it will actually bring a lot of people straight back into the UFC, straight back into the mix of things before the first pay-per-view even comes around. So good job, UFC. Good marketing. February 10th. This is a weird one, right? Officially, we have Joe Pyfer versus Jack Hermanson announced on that date. But we also have, there was a big leak when the Nelk boys went and did a podcast with Dana recently. I think the cameraman caught a bunch of the planning boards in the shots when they were moving around the room. So some stuff got leaked. And one of those leaks was Sandhagen versus Umar. The rebooking. They rebooked Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. It was meant to be on February 10th though, which is the same date as Pyfer and Hermanson. I'm not sure whether one of them has been cancelled and then the other is replacing it, or if one of them's been rebooked. So I'd say one of them has likely been rebooked, but that's the two fights that could happen on that date. Pyfer versus Hermanson, which I'm excited as fuck for. I'm really happy that Joe Pyfer's getting a chance at a ranked fight early too, man. It's not that early, but it's early. He's a star. He's a rising star. He's climbing that ladder quickly. And then Sandhagen versus Umar, obviously the fight we all wanted and we're very excited for earlier in the year we didn't get, should be coming around again. So hopefully we actually do get that. Umar hasn't fought in over a year by that point, but that's okay. Moving on from that, we have, lots of fights have been confirmed now. Whitaker versus Costa, fucking nice. Michael Venom Page versus Kevin Holland, and this one is verbally confirmed by Dana. So Michael Venom Page is signed with the UFC, in the UFC, and going straight into a ranked fight with Kevin Holland. This is exactly what they did with Michael Chandler. They signed him from this other promotion. He's already a big name, so he doesn't need to prove himself. Straight to a ranked fight. MVP versus Holland is a cool matchup. It's a great way to introduce him to the UFC fan base. I'm excited to see that. Gary versus Jeff Neal. So this, I believe, is the fight that Ian Gary already had. Before he fought Neil Magny, I believe Jeff Neal was his opponent. And then Jeff Neal had to pull out for some reason, I don't remember. And then Neil Magny filled in, and then Gary beat Magny, obviously. And then they booked Luque, the fight got cancelled, and it appears that they've rebooked Gary versus Neal at 299. So that's going to be a cool one. It's going to be nice to actually see Gary back. Burns versus Maddalena. Boom, baby, boom. Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. That one is fireworks. This is the fight that I think Maddalena deserves, not Burns specifically, but the high-profile fight that I think Maddalena deserves. And Burns is just a dog. Burns is going to beat everyone all the time, except for, I'm glad somebody out there can't finish a one-armed fighter in a 5-round fight. Last but not least, we have Petr Yan versus Song Yadong. The rebooking, obviously, this was also meant to happen recently. It was a fight night. It was meant to be at UFC in Shanghai, and that event got completely cancelled. And just made into an Apex event between Song and Chris Gutierrez. So that one was also rebooked. So we have Petr Yan returning once again to see if he can break his losing streak. Granted, this is one of those losing streaks where Petr Yan's in the same situation as Tony was in. Not now. Tony's much further. But Tony, in his first 3 losses, he looked bad in them, to be fair, which Petr Yan hasn't looked bad in them, but they were all to really high level guys. It wasn't until his 4th or 5th loss that Tony started to be given lower level opponents that he then still couldn't beat. I think his 3 losses in a row was Gaethje, Oliveira, and Dariush, and then it was Chandler after that as well, actually. So 4 huge talented lightweights. Yan fought Aljo, O'Malley, and Merab, literally the 3 best bantamweights in the world, back to back to back. I mean, he needs a break, and I think Song Yadong is still a very, very fucking talented guy, but it's the lower level that Yan needs to be to be able to establish a point of victory and establish a level of what kind of victory he's going to achieve. You know what I mean? So we can see whether Yan can only really make it to a point decision with Song, or maybe Yan knocks Song out in the first round. We have no idea. Or maybe Song knocks Yan out in the first round. We will see just how good, 1, Song Yadong is, and 2, just how much depletion has occurred in Petr Yan's career. I don't think it has been all that much. I think he's had a rough run, but I don't think he looks bad. Like I said before, Tony Ferguson, he looked bad in his first couple of losses after he started to go on that streak. The Gaethje fight, he got fucking beat up. In the Oliveira fight, he got fucking beat up. In the Dariush fight, he got fucking beat up. And in the Chandler fight, he got fucking knocked out. So That's just half, dude. Aljo fight with Piotr, the second one, was close, so that's fine. The O'Malley fight was close, so that's fine. And Merab just wrestle fucked him. So like Piotr hasn't like taken a lot of damage. He might have lost a little bit of confidence, but I don't think he's just entirely lost his will, you know. And he's young too. Pretty sure that Piotr's only like 32 or something like that. So he still has the chance to come back. UFC Mexico, boom. February 24th, Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega 2. Woo! I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. Ortega's finally returning, and it's against Yair, the guy that he had an injury to. And that fight ended really early. And I think for that reason, they deserve to rebook this. Not they deserve to rebook this. They deserve this rebooking. That's a grappling masterclass between those two. And it's unfinished business. So I can see why they'd want to go back and get that one done. I don't blame them, and I'm excited to see it, as well as the co-main event for that is Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi, which could be a number one contender fight. I'm kind of edging towards the fact that it's probably a number one contender fight. So that the winner of that might fight Pantoja next. So we shall see.